Bright lights, bright lights.
Good morning and welcome to this week's Bright Lights of Roslyn Hill Unitarian Church, Hampstead. If you have a candle, now is a great time to light it with your family. We are the chapel of the open minds, the loving hearts, and the helping hands. I hope you're well this week and that you've had a good week, and maybe you enjoyed the snow. Wow, transformed everything, didn't it? Did you build any snow people, or have a snowball fight, or just watch the snowflakes from inside your house, or snug and warm and see those big flakes floating down? It's very peaceful. Last Sunday. So this Sunday, I hope it's just as peaceful, but lots of fun headed your way. Before we get started, do press the pause to reflect button with your family now. And if you've got some joys and concerns, now's a great time to share them. So, folks, here we are, the last Sunday of January. And the theme this week is still imagination, and it says visit other worlds, the value of escape. So we can't travel unnecessarily at the minute, but we can escape into stories. And this season's great for snuggling up with books and stories, telling stories and sharing stories. So it says here, just pretend things and give everybody, yourselves, a break from daily routine. And it asks me to show you a reflection object. So I was looking for some characters. Who's this guy? Recognize him? I bet Jackson might know, or Alex and Rebecca. Maybe Isaac and Isla. It's Yoda from Star Wars. One of my favourite characters. What about this guy? Da, 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 da. Yes, that's right, it's Peppa Pig. No, it's not, is it? No, it's not Peppa Pig. It's Thomas the Tank Engine. Very different characters. Never seen those two in the same story. There's something to imagine. But we have these characters, and we can go into stories with them. We just have to pretend, don't we? And one of the characters it suggests here are trolls. Have you seen the Troll movie or read a story about trolls? So it says we're going to seek out a troll world and just pretend. So in your mind just now, have a little think about trolls. Hopefully we can get one on the screen. Use your imagination to figure out a way to find troll world. So how would you find troll world? Do you shrink down really, really tiny? A troll's tiny. Does it start talking to us, the troll? Do we follow it somewhere? Does it come along and say, come with me to my troll world? Do you follow it? Ooh. Do we have to say special words? Hooby galooby, maybe. Now, what do we see in this troll's world when you get there? What kind of house would a troll live in? Would it live in the city? Would it live in the woods? Where would it live? What do you think? A tree house, a tree hole? What kind of bed would a troll live in? Oh, maybe you could draw a troll bed. And this is sweet. It says, what kind of friends would a troll have? Would it be an owl? An elf? What would they say to each other? What kind of things would they like to do together? And here it says, what kind of things cause problems for a troll? Well, I know about the Troll movie, do you? And how do they find solutions? What do they learn when big-footed creatures come past their small tree area? So how do we get back to the real world? Do we take anything with us? What will the troll be like in the real world? And each time we play this game with our families, and maybe you could try it at breakfast, lunch and dinner, the troll story the pretending gets richer and richer. I love that idea. So to get richer and richer with something, just practice over and over again, and your mind and your imagination will expand, and people get to know your world, and and the pretend that you have. So here is a story of Aesop's fable called Town and Country Mouse. And you guessed it, it's about two mice who live in very different worlds or different situations in the same world. A town mouse once visited a relative, a cousin, who lived in the country. For lunch, the country mouse served wheat stalks, roots, acorns with a dash of cold water for a drink. The town mouse ate very sparingly, nibbling a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and by her manner, making it very plain that she ate the simple food only to be polite. It says the town mouse. I think it's still talking about the country mouse. So the country mouse ate very sparingly. Now, after the meal, the friends had a long talk, or rather the town mouse talked about her life. Oh, I see. So, sorry, it's already come to visit and the town mouse isn't sure. So it's just eating a little bit of it. After the meal, the friends had a long talk, or rather the town mouse talked about her life in the city while the country mouse listened. That's kind, isn't it? Then they went to bed in a cosy nest in the hedgerow and slept in the quiet and comfort until the morning. Now, in her sleep, the country mouse dreamed she was a town mouse with all the luxuries and delights of city life that her friend had described for her. So the next day, when the town mouse asked the country mouse to go home with her to the city, she said, "Yes, please. I've just been dreaming about the town and all the things you told me and how different it is. I'd like to come with you," she said. And when they reached the mansion in which the town mouse lived, they found on the table in the dining room the leavings of a very fine banquet. There were sweetmeats and jellies, pastries, delicious cheeses, indeed the most tempting foods that a mouse can imagine. But just as the country mouse was about to nibble a dainty bit of pastry, she heard a cat meow loudly and scratch at the door. In great fear, the mice scurried to a hiding place where they lay quite still for a long time, hardly daring to breathe. They were so scared the cat was going to come. Should we just be like the mice for a minute? Just wait. When at last they ventured back to the feast, the door suddenly opened and in came the servants to clear the table, followed by the house dog. Oh no! The country mouse stopped in the town mouse's den only long enough to pick up her carpet bag and umbrella. "You may have luxuries and dainties that I have not," said the country mouse to the town mouse, and she hurried away. "But I prefer my plain food and simple life in the country with the peace and security that go with it." That was a different world for the country mouse there. She was tempted, wasn't she, by all the stories that her cousin town mouse told her. And I used to listen to this story when I was a child. I still love it, this idea, of trying something new, trying a different place to live, and what would you make of it if you've never experienced it? Both living in the city and then going to live in the country, or going to the country and living in the city. What does that feel like? And I just think that's great. And when I first read it, the town mouse couldn't even sleep in the countryside because it was too quiet. Imagine that. That's so crazy, hey? Just makes me smile. So you can have very different situations in a single world, but this theme is all about pretending to go to new worlds too. So it says the moral of the story is that poverty or less with security is better than plenty in the midst of fear and uncertainty. That is certainly true, isn't it? Perhaps. I think so. I'll leave it for you to decide, but wouldn't you rather be a country mouse with less but feeling safe and secure? I think a lot of us would give up some of our luxuries just now, wouldn't we? Just to feel a little bit more safe, doing really well. Talking of which, it might be nice just before we do the activity to sit quietly with our eyes closed for a minute and meditate for a little while. Try some mindfulness. I'm sure you might do this at school All we're going to do before the activity is just close our eyes. I'll close them with you now, or just keep your eyes open but really soft to bring your shoulders up, put them down, rest your hands quietly on your lap. Feel your bottom on the seat or the floor, wherever you're sitting. Take a big deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Do you know, something just came to me, this idea of just breathing in imagination. Imagine that, a constant source of flow. Maybe you imagine air with rainbow colours in. Maybe you're imagining air with little stars and sparkles in it. Something very clean and clear, like you'd get going to visit Country Mouse. Let your body sink down and feel your legs and your back and your arms, top of your head and the back of your head. There you go. That was a mindful moment. Feels nice. You can hear the sounds outside. So how many stories do you know? How many stories do you know about going to different worlds? I bet you more than you even know that you know, if you see what I mean. So when I looked through here, they gave some examples for families to talk about or to share. So one of my favourites was Mary Poppins when I was little, and she meets a chimney sweep called Bert. And he's not just a chimney sweep, he also likes to do chalk drawings on the ground. Do you ever draw on the ground with chalk on the pavement, maybe? Or at school? And he did a lovely landscape. And when Mary Poppins is a nanny, when she takes the children for a walk, they bump into Bert, and Bert says, "Come on, we could jump into the picture." Or does Mary Poppins say that? They've done it before. Anyway, one of them hints that they'd like to visit again. And so they do. He's drawn the picture and they disappear into the world, and it's all fantastical and beautiful and full of colours and crazy paths and happiness and singing, and it's sunny and it's gorgeous. And they only do it for a short time, they pop back out, but it's a wonderful part of the story. Another one is, of course, Harry Potter and Platform 9 3/4. I don't know if some of you have read that. Alice in Wonderland and the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, Peter Pan, or the Wizard of Oz. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. So you could maybe start a story together, enter a new world. That's one activity you could do. Another activity you could do is to find a little Bright Lights character, which I'll pop on the screen, which comes up at the beginning with the little jingle music at the beginning. And we could write him a little world, because right now he's just got white all around him. I don't know where Bright Lights lives. I don't know if he's some kind of extra special character like a troll. He might live in a tree. He might have owls for friends. What I'd like you to do, if you could, it just has to be like a teardrop or a flame shape, doesn't it? Very simple. Just draw the eyes on and the mouth, and just give him some arms and legs and take him somewhere. Imagine that. I'd like Bright Lights to go on an adventure, I think, and build him a community, because next month's theme is all about community, beloved community. Maybe he might have a cousin. Bright Lights might have a cousin. And in fact, I'd like to make some connections with some of the other Unitarian youth groups in London. Maybe you have a Unitarian style friend to meet in London or in the UK. So we're going to try, and expand our ideas on that. But what a fun game to try. Go and create a world for Bright Lights. It'd be fantastic. Okay. Lots of love to you all. I can't wait to see if you do it, and if I get a chance I might draw a backdrop with Simon too and include it in the video. I like to think of bright lights having fun, as I hope that you do too. Okay, let's say the closing words together. As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness that we learn light our hearts until we return. Blow it out with me. Have a fantastic day, have a fantastic week, and see you next week. Bye.
Bright lights,